Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Got my BBL surgically removed because my sit down one was stinking real bad. And if you're wondering what it smelled like broccoli. The broccoli that's been sitting in your pot with the top on for 2 days.
Put her leg around my neck, had me down there choking. When I smelled that, that's the first time I almost thought about hitting me a woman. I pushed that ass so hard.
Investigators say the woman had come to the home to have her butt implants removed.
When they sit or when they wear the pants, the butt flip over, come over in their back.
When I get up, I see blood on the bed and I'm like, didn't y'all say y'all was just numbing me?
How they talking about BBLs and how your booty can start to rot and it can smell like a public toilet smoothie and all this.
A smell like rotten flesh. And it got to the point to where I had to carry around a bottle of air freshener or a bottle of perfume.
And I believe this is primarily due to all the blood that I lost.
I became allergic to literally everything.
Once that lidocaine injection wears off, it is excruciatingly painful. I was in so much pain that I was actually scared, and I've given birth twice.
As I got older, my butt started to get bigger.
BBL stink, do you hear me?
BBLs, Brazilian butt lifts, were once seen as the ultimate body hack. Curves overnight, right? A dream figure. For some, a newfound sense of confidence, yeah. But what happens when that dream turns into a nightmare? Well, today, guys, we're diving into the darker side of this whole BBL trend, from botched surgeries to unexpected complications, and yes, the smell, the stench. You heard right. Some women are now speaking out about the unpleasant odor, the infections, and even losing their relationships as well as their self-esteem in the aftermath of what is supposed to be a glow up. And one story that had TikTok in shambles was a case story. No, her video went viral when she shared that her BBL smelled, in her words, like dumpster juice. A situation so bad it cost her confidence and her relationship. While part of the story was unfortunately removed for violating TikTok's community guidelines, she did give us a recap that we're about to see now. So remember, guys, before we get into the rest of the video, just like this video for your girl. It's easy, it's free. Join the Islanders family by, of course, hitting that subscribe button. That being said, let's take a look.
So this is part 2 on why I had to get my BBL surgically removed. So in part 1, I was telling y'all how my sit down ear was stinking real bad, and it got to the point to where I had to carry around a bottle of air freshener or a bottle of perfume, because when I would use public restrooms, it would stink so bad and the smell would linger. It was like an embarrassment. I didn't want to come out the bathroom with it smelling like that and someone else was waiting at the door. When I say that BBL really ruined my life, I even lost my boyfriend behind it. He was telling me the whole time, like, you're stinking real bad down there and I can't stomach it. First I'm in denial, like, no, you're hating, you're mad, I got a BBL. It was the truth. It got to the point to where I would be washing my laundry, weekly, like I've been doing before I got the BBL. When I would get my laundry out of the dryer, it would still smell like that raw eating flesh. I really was like, so this one day, me and my boyfriend, we getting ready, to do something. So this one day, me and my boyfriend, we getting ready, to do something. So first, let me say, my boyfriend at the time did not want me to get the procedure done, but I insisted. Me and my sister went to get the procedure done together. And before I got the procedure done, I joined the group on Facebook. It was like a support group. Different women that got it, that's in relationships, just for, to talk about it. So a lot of women in the group was pretty much saying, when you get it, your boyfriend is going to be jealous, so just keep it out on that. So when he was telling me it was smelly down there, I was going to the group saying, he's saying it's smelly down there. They was basically telling me to ignore him. He's jealous, but he'll eventually come around. So me and my sister got the procedure done at the same time. So at first, mans was healing up good. It was healing normal. So was my sister's. And I would ask her, is you healing well? She would tell me, yeah. I was healing well maybe the first 6 to 7 weeks. But after that, it kept on leaking and kept on draining. I was asking my sister how hers was doing. She said she was not leaking or draining. Mines would close up, but then like a day or two later, it would start leaking again. So I used to put gauze and dressings on it to support the leakage while I may have been outside or out and about. So that's why I had it for a year with the leakage, because there would be points that it would close up, or I would think it was closed up fully, but it wasn't. So one day me and my boyfriend was about to do something, and he just was like, I cannot take the smell anymore. And he broke up with me and he left. And that was pretty much that. But he was telling me for months. But me listening to the women in a group thinking they knew what they was talking about, it kind of messed everything up for me. It even got to the point I was wearing jeans in the summertime because it was an embarrassment even looking at it. I'm going to upload the picture right here. Part 3 on how I got my BBL surgically removed because my sit down one was stinking real bad. So I deleted part 1 because there were so many people in the comments talking how y'all are doing now. So I deleted part 1 and I made part 2 because there was some people in the comments that wanted to know more. BBL stink, do you hear me? And it's not coming from the vagina or the beehole. It's coming from the incisions that they cut to inject the fluid and the fat in your butt, okay? There's people in the comments saying, oh, you wasn't washing up right. Come on, let's be real. It's coming out of the incision. It fucking stink. I don't care what y'all say. It stink. And if it's not healing properly and your body is rejecting it, the hole will remain open and the drainage will continue to come out and stink up your linen, stink up your underwear, stink up everything, okay? Now, my BBL been removed for the past 4 years. Only had it in for about a year until it was stinking so bad I couldn't take it no more. I don't know if y'all wanted me to get on here and say BBL smell good, but they can stink. Stay away from them. Hey y'all, I just want to hop on here real quick, clear up some confusion, and answer a few frequently asked questions. When I said all BBLs stink, what I should have said was, if your body rejects the procedure and your scars are not healing, it do have a smell. There's a lot of women in my comments saying, oh, I had a BBL and my BBL don't smell. The fact of the matter is, immediately after procedure, when you're experiencing the drainage do have a smell. So if your body rejects the procedure and it's the constant leaking and unhealed scars, yes, it's going to smell, and that's just facts. And of course, everyone's body is different and everyone's body reacts to the procedure differently. So I was speaking on my experience from my point of view that my body rejected the procedure, and with the constant leakage and drainage, it smelled horrible. You know, even with me covering the scars with, different dressings to try to soak up the leakage, with it being constant like that, it gives off a horrible smell. And I also have several women in my inbox sharing their story. Something similar happened to them also. And if they are comfortable with me sharing their story with y'all, I will. I'm just here to tell my story, if that makes any sense. I wasn't expecting my video to blow up like it did, but I have a lot of women angry with me. They are reporting me. They're commenting nasty things. I'm just about to delete everything and go about my business, because when I say this is crazy, It's like they removed the sound from my other video. I wasn't saying anything, but I guess I did not fit their narrative. They're not happy about my experience. That's pretty much what I was saying. They denied that. They said they're not putting my sound back up. So I'ma just, the crazy part is so many women pissed off at me. I don't even know who to start to block so they could start reporting me. They're just coming at a rapid pace. So I'm done, y'all. I'm just like, I didn't know people was going to get mad like this. I just thought I was sharing experience, but I'm done. This BBL trap don't play. I've been getting a lot of messages from different women asking me to tell their story, so I'm going to tell y'all a story that I just received tonight. She captioned her story, "The Infection They Tried to Ignore." I went out of state for my BBL because a friend recommended this up-and-coming clinic. It looked professional enough, clean, organized, and the staff seemed nice. The price was lower than most places, but I thought I was getting a good deal. The surgery went fine at first. The pain was intense but expected. I was swollen, bruised, and sore, normal post-op stuff. But about day 5 then, I started noticing a strange smell. At first, I thought maybe I wasn't cleaning myself well enough, even though I was following the aftercare instructions to the letter. Then I noticed one of the incisions on my lower back felt warm, too warm. The area was red, hard, and the smell started getting worse. It was a sour and rotten smell. When I called the clinic, they brushed it off, told me it was normal healing, and to give it a few more days. By day 7, the pain was unbearable and pus was draining from the incision. I ended up in urgent care where they immediately told me I had a deep tissue infection, necrotizing fasciitis. I hope I got that right. The bacteria had started killing the tissue inside my body. They rushed me to the hospital and I had to go through emergency surgery to remove the infected tissue. I stayed in the hospital for over a week on IV antibiotics, scared out of my mind. I survived, but I was left with the permanent scarring and had to have reconstructive surgery months later. My body is forever changed, not by the BBL I wanted, but by the damage it left behind. Lesson learned. Cheaper doesn't mean safer, and if your body smells like something is dying, don't let anyone tell you it's normal.
Wow, that was indeed heavy. You know, Kay really opened up about something that is so deeply personal, and the fact that her BBL had complications that got so bad, she had to remove it. She even mentioned that the incision kept reopening, which led to infections and that unbearable odor. And honestly, it's heartbreaking. You know what's even unfortunate while doing this video is that TikTok kept removing her video because persons kept reporting it. You know, whether people were just offended or they just did not want to believe it, but the reality is she was just simply sharing her truth, and the truth could definitely help someone else, you know, to think twice, do more research, or to get the medical support they actually need. While putting this video together, Islanders, I realized that Kay was not alone. So in the next couple of clips, we're about to hear from others who are basically backing up her story, including a man who openly admitted that he was in a situation where a woman with a BBL had the same kind of smell. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's real. With that being said, let's watch.
I had to come outside and talk about this because after what I just experienced, I'm traumatized. BBL smell is 100% real. I don't care what your mama say. I don't care what your friends say. I don't even care what your doctor say. BBL smell is real, and let me tell you why. And if you're wondering what it smells like, it smells like broccoli. The broccoli that's been sitting in your pot with the top on for 2 days. We all know how that smells. Sour, funky, molded. Now, it's going to be some people that say, my BBL don't smell like that. I don't know where she get her information from. Take your hand and rub it back there and see if you smell the same thing that I'm smelling. Now, some BBLs have a soft, funky smell, like a musky smell. And then some BBLs have a loud smell, a smell like rotten flesh. But trust me, it's all the same smell. Now, if you're wondering how to get that funky smell up out of your skin, because yeah, it's sucked in them pores and it's deep within that skin. Take you a cup of vinegar, 3 tablespoons of Epsom salt, run you a bath of hot, steamy water, and sit in the tub for about 30 to 45 minutes. You're going to need one of them thick rags that you get from Amazon, the hotel style rags. I've told 2 friends about that, and trust me, it works. And I know I joke a lot, but this is not a joke. This is serious. Let's get that smell out the way because, baby, I can't take it no more. If y'all gonna do it, let's just do it, right? Okay?
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Y'all favorite TikTok YouTuber? Hey, the bit had a BBL and that shit smelled it like... Hey, listen, now, I ain't gonna lie. I don't judge nobody. But I never messed with a girl who had a BBL until I met this famous ass TikToker. I ain't gonna lie. She in Miami right now because in Cali they got fires, they got things burning down. Hey, prayers to Cali, but she in the city right now. She got a nice ass B&B. She called me over, I ain't gonna lie. She been in my trap about like a few weeks to a month. I pulled up on her. We're in the BBL. We're in the B&B, everything going cool. Tell me why the moment we get inside the room, we laying down. She started getting inside, getting on demon time. I'm kind of excited. I'm smiling. I'm smiling. I want it. When I tell you, she started moving so much, she's sweating a little bit, trying to dance and play fight. We in the middle of play fighting, bruh. She put her leg around my neck, had me down there choking. When I smelled that, that's the first time I almost thought about hitting me a woman. I pushed that ass so hard, she hit the wall. I'm walking out. She's talking about what's going on? Why you getting mad for? I was just playing. I told her, I ain't gonna lie, take a bow. She's talking about something, oh, you childish. Instantly get on demon time, get mad. You childish. What's going on with you? I ain't stink.
BBL smell. Child, was yesterday years old when I found out about it. And to be quite honest, I should have known. You got a lot of holes in you from lipo. You got this new behind that you gotta wash. Let me break this down. Apparently, there's 2 reasons why the BBL smells. I want to talk about the fact that it was a dude who said that there was 3 baddies in his section, and they got up to leave from that section, and they had the BBL smell. Something that he smelled before from women who have bad bodies. This confused me because I never knew this was a thing. I typed it in on TikTok and went down a whole wormhole. Due to you having to get those lymphatic massages and get the drainage, that causes a certain smell that lingers for about 4 to 6 weeks post-op. Even after that, girls with their newfound bottom can't either reach or don't know how to properly go around their new bum to get far enough in between the cheeks so they can wash properly. So those ladies tend to have a smell. Now, I don't know how, because I'm pretty self-conscious of what my body odor is, so I stay on top of it. If this is the case for me personally, if I got a BBL, I would take tub baths so I could soak instead of showers, just until I got used to bathing my new butt. But honey, this has just added a new level to why I will be scared to get a BBL. And this is coming from somebody who researched the BBL for a good 5 to 6 years and was considering it. But just after everything I've seen, it scares me out of my mind. And on top of that, the smell part. Now, I'm not opposed to plastic surgery. Hey, you might see me get a little lipo one day, especially after I have kids. A little tummy tuck, I get it. But it's just interesting because I never knew that the BBL had a smell.
I just watched that video of that lady talking about her BBL, and I got to the part where she was saying how her booty was dying and the type of smell that it had. I'm not surprised because BBLs is like peak insecurity to me. You trusting a stranger to open up your ass and insert foreign objects just so you can get on Instagram and people can compliment your shape. It has never been that deep. In every universe known to mankind, it doesn't get that deep in any one of them. Now they talking about BBLs and how your booty can start to rot and it can smell like a public toilet smoothie and all this. It's like, how insecure do you have to be to literally lay on a table and have somebody open up your ass surgically and start putting in it so you can, look better? Like, what is the end goal? Is what? Doing all of this for what? So people can look at you and give you attention and validate your body looking good, you willing to die to do this. And that's actual insanity, bro. Like, we really just gotta start speaking more life into our women and shit, because they should not be on these tables, bro, trying to make their asses blow up. It makes no sense. Just love what you got. I'm gonna be honest. There are some who need the BBL, but everybody who just lazy and don't want to get the gym, that's the ones who I just don't understand.
There's a woman on TikTok that is talking about how she had to have her BBL removed because it stunk. She said it smelled like raw flesh, and she said the smell was horrible. And so she made a 3-part series on getting her BBL removed because of the smell. And the crazy thing is that BBL smell is a real thing, or BBL wind. And so before she made this video, so many men has come out and say BBL stink, you guys. It's crazy. Like, you can look on TikTok why BBL smell, and that is a real thing. But she said she made a video today or yesterday saying like so many people was reporting her video, but her BBL really was stinking. Like, she was like, the BBL girls are mad. But TikTok did put her video back up. She is back being monetized off that video, and the sound is back available. She's like, they kept reporting that video. But I guess BBL wind or BBL smell really is a thing. She said it smells like raw flesh, like, ugh. But a lot of men, I'm telling you, you can go back years on TikTok. A lot of men says BBL smell.
Well, those stories pretty much confirm it. Kay is not the only one who experienced this whole BBL smell issue. It's also, men coming forward and other creators pretty much backing up the same experience. It becomes clear that this isn't just an isolated case. It's actually more common than people would want to realize, and it's not even talked about publicly. While I was doing my research, I looked at, medically what could cause this. So from a medical standpoint, the odor can be caused by several factors, including poor post-op, wound care, infections like cellulitis or necrosis, which is like dead tissues, fluid buildup under the skin, and the incisions that don't close up properly, allowing bacteria to thrive. In some cases, if the drains aren't placed or monitored well, then the fuel or the fat necrosis can lead to that foul smell. Now that we have seen these first-hand, accounts and understand what might be causing it, let's get into something even more serious. And unfortunately, it's tragic. The truth is, in some cases, there are surgeries that leads to death. Whether it's due to fat embolism, unqualified surgeons are just unsafe clinical conditions, we have to talk about it. Now we're going to watch a few more clips that touch some of the most extreme outcomes of this whole BBL procedure, and we'll discuss accordingly. Of course, that's how we do it on this channel. And if you're still here with me, you haven't yet liked, you haven't yet subscribed, just remember it helps the channel, and it keeps me making these videos to get these important conversations going. Now with that being said, let's keep watching.
It looks like an ordinary house in the middle of a very quiet neighborhood, but police say inside, Philippe Hoyos Ferranda was running a makeshift medical practice without a license. This all came to light on Friday after police say they found a 31-year-old woman unresponsive. Investigators say the woman had come to the home to have her butt implants removed. During the procedure, something went terribly wrong. Police say 38-year-old Philippe Hoyos Ferranda called EMS and then took off. The city's license plate reader system got a hit on his vehicle on the Van Wyck Expressway near JFK Airport. That's where they found him, at the airport, after he had passed all the gates and was on his way to Colombia, but was taken into custody. According to the criminal complaint, Hoyos Ferranda admitted to performing the surgical procedure on the victim without a license to do so, and he also administered lidocaine via a syringe, causing her to go into cardiac arrest. As far as that woman, officials say, she's in the hospital. She has no brain activity, and she demonstrates signs of lidocaine toxicity.
If you are planning on getting a BBL, please do not go to Gold's Plastic Surgery. I went to the location that was closest to me, which is the Gaithersburg location in Maryland. And honestly, it was the worst experience ever. My surgery was this week on Tuesday, and I didn't even end up getting the procedure because when I got there, it was just so many red flags. And also, I had to switch doctors because my original doctor was having a conversation with the nurse on the elevator, and he was mean mugging me crazy, like looking me up and down like if we had beef. And then when we're getting off the elevator, the nurse is on a phone call and she starts telling the other person, like, you should have seen the way Dr. Johnson looked at this lady crazy up and down. Mind you guys, I'm not a lady. Like, I'm 19. I don't think I look that old, but anyway, so I end up texting my surgery coordinator. Her name is Salome. She told me that she works at the New York location. And I tell her, can we please switch doctors because I don't feel comfortable with the other one. But anyway, let's fast forward to my surgery day. So I get there at 9. My surgery's at 10. They say come an hour early. The late fee is $250 every 15 minutes. So I was there on the dot, honey. But I'm like ringing on the doors. Nobody's really coming out until like 5 minutes later. This Spanish lady pokes her head out and she's like, come here. So she gives me this fat ass packet of papers to sign. And I finish in like 10 minutes because I'm just trying to get this shit done. So I knock on the door that's in the waiting area. And she's like, okay, give me a second. That second turns into a whole hour because none of the nurses start coming in the door until 10. So they don't even start working on me until like 10:30ish and administering my pills around 10:40ish. And she had to wait 20 minutes, she told me, for the pills to kick in, I guess. And then she tells me to come in the back. Oh, and they did take my vitals and stuff. But I think she looked a little confused about them because she ended up asking the other nurse, like, her vitals are this over this. Like, I'm not sure, but anyway. And they have a part on the contract where you're like obligated to be filmed, and one of the ladies was recording like while the surgeon was writing on my body, which I don't know, I didn't really want them to do that, but I guess I already signed the form, so I was like, whatever. But anyway, when they bring me into the operating room is when I go fucking crazy. But I'm gonna do a part 2 because I literally have no more time. Alright, part 2. So basically they bring me into the operating room and they're like, okay, take your gown off. I lay on the table. Mind you, they have yet to shut the door and I'm naked, and some random guy walks through the door with no uniform on. So I'm assuming he doesn't work there, and he saw me without my clothes on. Like, that in itself pissed me off. But then this nurse comes in. So now there's 2 nurses and the surgeon, and she finally shuts the door. And he's like, we're going to start numbing you now. So I feel about 6 injections. I think 4, 2 on my back, 2 under my butt, and like 2 on my sides, right? Not even 10 seconds later, I start feeling something like drilling into me, like vibrating. And for like a couple seconds too, I felt it burning, like it would go in and out. So I don't know how to describe this feeling to you guys, but it was the most painful thing I've ever felt in my life. I've gotten literal laser on my skin for tattoo removal, and it does not compare to this at all. I was screaming, crying, like yelling, like so bad. And the nurse was like, you can't be in here doing all that. She basically was like, you cannot be screaming like that. She literally was like, you can't be screaming like that. And then before that, when they were just injecting me, I was crying and like screaming, like cursing. And she was like, I don't think she's going to be able to do the next part if she's already acting like that. Mind you, I'm pretty young and I'm alone. They took my phone. They said I can't bring it into the operating room. And these people they're not acting friendly at all. So I'm scared I don't know what to do. But my gut is telling me, no, Sherlyn, like, don't go through with this. Like, this is not looking good. So I end up telling them to stop. And then they stop for a brief, like maybe 30 seconds. And then they keep going. And then I'm like, stop. Because it just hurts so bad. Like, I can't explain it. I felt like I was getting torn apart. So then the other nurse, she's like, if you make a stop again, we're gonna just have to cancel your whole procedure because we have other patients after you. So then I'm like, okay, just stop. Like, I don't need nobody rushing on my body. Like, I could die here. So then the doctor pretty much notes to the other nurse, he's like, she's gonna have to reschedule in New York where they fully put her to sleep. And then he walks out the room, doesn't say a word to me, doesn't acknowledge me, nothing. The other nurse also leaves, doesn't say nothing to me. Then the other nurse leaves, so I'm pretty much alone in the room just laying there. And then when I get up, I see blood on the bed, and I'm like, didn't y'all say y'all was just numbing me? And please send this video to as many people as possible. Share with anyone that's considering even getting work done on themselves, because honestly, I wish I would have had someone even like say this to me about them, because Lord, the lady that I spoke with from their company assured me so many different ways that like I was gonna be fine. There was gonna be no pain. This is the safest way, and look at me now. But anyway, so when I tell them to stop, the nurses like call her escort, which my assistant came with me and my boyfriend. They called her. She was like, girl, they didn't even know what to tell me. They just said, come get Sherlyn. So anyway, she comes up there. She's like, they don't really say nothing to her. They just have her waiting outside in the couch. So then I'm walking down the hall, a fucking mess. I'm basically feel naked. I'm just in the gown that I came in with, and then my hospital socks, and they just run up to me to sign these papers. She doesn't give me back all my prescriptions that I paid for, and then they're like, good luck, and give me my other clothes and my bag, and I'm like, wow. And they pretty much shut the door on me, and that's it. And I've been reaching out to them. The lady that originally was planning my surgery and everything that I was contacting, she had stopped responding to me since April. And then the other lady didn't respond to me at all. Like, I had to blow up her phone saying that I don't feel good for her to finally respond to me. I thought she disconnected the phone actually. And then I called them yesterday. They bullshit me, sent me to voicemail, hung up on me. I called them again today. The guy was like that he'll open up a case, but I'm gonna call again tomorrow because I really can't let it go. Like, I paid for a surgery and I expected a lot more, but I just felt like I got treated like shit. And I got traumatized because now I never want to do that again. I have 4 incisions on my back. I really pray to God they didn't do anything but cut me up, because I don't know, like, I just never ever want to go through this ever again in my life. Like, literally, I don't even care if you put the best doctor in my face. I just would not do it, like, ever, because they really scared me from it. I literally asked them, like, I know as a business it will hurt you to have to refund me. So can the surgery money be put towards someone else? They were like, no, but we can reschedule you. I don't want to do it ever, like, at all, not even with anyone else. So right now I'm just going back and forth with them about how I can be compensated for the surgery, even if it's a partial refund. But they're literally no help. They're telling me I need to have a medical condition to prohibit me from the surgery.
Oh my gosh, guys, this beautiful girl named Star the Scar just posted 2 days ago about how she was traveling with her sister to go get her BBL round 2 done. We just found out that she passed away at the recovery house due to them giving her some medicine that was not prescribed to her. This is actually so sad, and guys, I want to make it clear that this situation actually had nothing to do with the doctor that she went to. This had everything to do with the recovery house that she went to. They gave her unprescribed medicine, and she took that, and I guess it gave her bad side effects to where she has now passed on after her surgery. And it's just so sad, guys. Please be careful and do your research on recovery houses that you are going to when you are going to get these surgeries. Make sure that the nurses are actually, educated and doing their jobs when it comes to taking care of you after your surgery. Please don't take any medicine that is not prescribed by a doctor. This is so sad. Rest in peace to her, and just prayers to her family.
So I got a BBL last month, and this is how I ended up in the emergency room and ICU. So I'm not making this video to scare anybody. I'm doing this purely for informative purposes and to kind of let you know what this all procedure involves and to give you a different perspective on it. And I want to start off by saying I don't necessarily regret what I did. I just wish it didn't turn out this way. Because I do love my results and I don't like to say I regretted I did something when I 100% wanted to do it in the first place. Okay, so where do I even start? Okay, so let's start with pre-op. So I get down to Miami the day before pre-op. I go into pre-op, everything's good, the vibe is good. I meet the doctor, he's very realistic in what he can do for me. I had a major weight loss in the past, so I had some extra skin, so he was just telling me that this may or may not retract. You have to see because you are pretty young. So, and that we were just going to fill in my butt, but not too much because the skin wasn't loose enough to just jam pack it with fat. And to also fill in my hip dips. I also had a vision board that I showed him that was pretty realistic because I do have wide hips and thick thighs, so I know I have a pretty good foundation whether we wanted to go natural or vixen, but the results ended up looking pretty natural, but with a little bit, with a little bump, a good amount of bump. Anyways, okay, all that's good. I pay, I get the stuff that I need, and then the next day is the day of surgery. So the day of surgery, I had to be there, I believe, like 6 a.m. No, I was there like 5 a.m. Like, it wasn't even open by the time I got there. We were waiting outside. I met some pretty cool girls in the room. Well, she's really a lady. She's really like 40. We were just talking about the different procedures that we were having. It was all good vibes. I'm getting nervous. I'm trying to conceal it as much as possible. I'm just looking at pictures of my family and my pets to calm me down, you know, stuff I love just to make me feel more relaxed. I go back, we do the drug test, the pregnancy test that's required to make sure you're not going under anesthesia, pregnant, or with drugs in your system. The doctor comes and he marks me up, and then we just talk about my results again. He, again, just being realistic about the results to expect, okay, fast forward, I have the procedure. The anesthesiologist, all of them are just being really cool. I go in, walk into the room, lay down. Then I just knock out, boom. I didn't even graduate, it was just boom. And then I remember waking up on my back and I had to flip over to my stomach. I was in a lot of pain. I was shaking because the room was super cold. Even the nurses were saying, no, it's okay to be cold. And I remember just being like, hello, hello. I was just like, nurse, like I was trying to get the nurse. I was like, is it normal to be shaking? Is it normal to have a high blood rate? Or is it normal to have a high heart rate? But all that stuff was normal right after. And I remember I was bleeding a lot. I lost a lot of blood to the point where they had to put an extra doggy pad in my faja because I was just dripping so much. Honestly, I was ready to go home. I wasn't trying to dilly-dally in that operation room when people try to kick you out. Yes, please kick me out because I wanted to go home and get the painkillers that they prescribed me because I was in excruciating pain. Honestly, that might have been one of the most painful things in my life. And I know it's different for everyone. Some people say they just have discomfort. No, I was in pain. I finished all the medicine that they gave me, the hydrocodone. And I even feel like it wasn't even strong enough. It was really the lipo part. It wasn't even the butt part. It was the lipo because it's just a lot of trauma. And that is going to go into how I ended up in the ER. Okay, so I remember going home. I don't know if I went to sleep. No. Oh my gosh. I was in so much pain. I couldn't even lay on my stomach. I remember going to the bathroom. I was squatting down on my hands and knees like in doggy style because I just could not lay on my stomach. I was in so much pain, and God bless my friend. Like, I was just bleeding everywhere. The friend that I was saying she was really an angel. She was feeding me. I couldn't do a lot. You're literally like disabled at this point. You just cannot move. You're not mobile enough. So she was feeding me food, like with a fork so I could eat and take my medicine. And I believe I did go to sleep after taking melatonin. I can't really remember if I slept that day, like right away, because it was just a lot. Anyways, okay, so fast forward to the next day. That's your post-op appointment, and you go in to just make sure everything's okay, all your incisions, just to check up with the doctor. So I go in, I start crying when I get to the building. I don't know if it's just an emotional thing or a pain thing, but I start just bawling. I walk into the waiting room. All the girls are looking at me like Like, oh my God, they were just so worried. I was like the only one crying. I just looked a mess, hair's a mess, but it's fine. Like, that's expected. And then I go back, I get totally undressed so the doctor to come and see me. He says everything looks okay. You look good. That loose skin may retract. It was a pretty brief interaction, but overall was good. I'm gonna get into the more in detail stuff. I'll make a YouTube video later about like the massages and stuff like that, but I'm just focused on the ER part right now. Okay, so some days go by. I'm in pain, but I feel okay the first couple of days, and it's probably like that third or fourth day where I just don't start feeling okay. And I believe this is primarily due to all the blood that I lost. My hemoglobin was at a 15 going in, which is pretty good. The average is like 11, 12, maybe even 13. 15 was pretty high for hemoglobin. That was good going in. So just keep that in mind. So I'm very shaky, weak, faint, dizzy, lightheaded these next couple days. Even to the point where my massage therapist came and I started crying and I was like, I just want to cancel, like I don't feel good. And she didn't really speak English. So we had to call her boss. And then I was just like, I don't feel good. Please, can we just reschedule or something? She's like, well, you're going to have to forfeit your massage. You can't do another one if you cancel this one. I was like, okay, well, if I just feel bad, could we stop? She's like, of course, honey. So I was just like, okay, let's just do it. And the massage was fine. But anyways, okay, like fast forward, I believe I had a post-op appointment 5 days later and I go in and my heart rate's like standing, it's like 140. And that's really bad. Like my average heart rate was like 70, 80 before the procedure. 140 is like I'm exercising, I'm working out. That's really high. That's tachycardia. And the nurse said it was okay, that it could just be a response to the trauma that happened to my body, but it turned out to not be okay. And maybe that's the case for other people, but for me, it just didn't get any better. So I leave Miami, I go back home, and I believe this was day 8 or 9, I start to develop a fever. And I'm looking at all my incision sites. None of them are red, swollen, or indicating any type of infection. So I thought, okay, maybe it's just like a flu. Maybe I contracted COVID. Maybe it's just regular virus because it's also flu season. So I waited a day. It doesn't get better. So I go in the next day to the ER. And honestly, they were very good. The hospital that I went to treated it very seriously. Like, because post-op infections, if you get an infection and it gets into your blood, it could be this thing called sepsis, and then your organs can start to shut down. It could just be a whole mess. So I get to the ER, we're doing blood work. They can't get an IV on me. 2 people got to come in because my veins are not very visible. If you could see, they're not very visible, so it could be hard to get an IV on me sometimes. They were just taking blood. Also, another thing that made me go to the hospital, I had a seroma right here, and it was really hurting when I pressed on it, and it was red and swollen, so I thought that may be an infection. We do a CAT scan. It turns out I had cellulitis on my skin, so they wanted to admit me to the main ER so that they could drain it and do a biopsy on it with the intravenous doctors. And they also put me on sepsis alert because there was a possibility that I could have had an infection because the labs that came back, my inflammation markers were extremely high. And we were waiting for they had to also send some other blood work to the lab for it to grow to see if there's any type of infection, but they didn't know yet. So we just treated it like it could have been sepsis. So fast forward, we're waiting for me to get transmitted to the main hospital because the one I went to was like a little extension of the hospital. It wasn't the main big hospital, if you know what I mean. So we're waiting hours and hours. Then I gotta get transported in an ambulance, by the way. So the EMTs come, they put me on the bed. Oh, and mind you, I'm on my stomach this whole time because even though I was in the hospital, I was not gonna mess up my results. And also, not that it hurt so bad to be on my butt. Like I thought it was gonna pop like a pimple. Like I had to be on it for the CAT scan, and I had to lay on my back for the CAT scan. It hurt really bad, so I knew I couldn't be in the hospital on my butt, and I was not messing up my results either. I came this far. I didn't come this far just to come this far. Anyway, so they put me on the bed. I'm in the ambulance. That was my first time being a rider in the ambulance. They admit me. When we get to the main hospital, they put me in the ER because they're waiting on a room to get admitted. To actually admit me to get my own private room, which was nice, by the way, really nice. So we're waiting in the ER. That was a whole mess. So I'm running out of time. So if you want me to do a part 2, just like and comment. Okay, so part two. So we get to the emergency room. That was just terrible. If you don't, I don't know. I guess since COVID, hospitals have been understaffed. No one wants to work in healthcare anymore, and this has not been the same. You know, there's people waiting in the hallway of the ER because they're just so overpacked. So it was just so overpacked, and it's literally like it was like a sweatshop in there. It was just people packed into small rooms. Okay, so like they weren't even rooms. They were like, how do I describe it? They were like closets, Okay, so here are the walls. They're all divided by dividers. So you're right next to your door neighbor. And then there's a curtain. There's not a door. So if you walk down the hallway, you can see all the different people, if that kind of makes sense. Just people coughing, this, that, and the other, which is expected, but it was just really bad for my anxiety. It was just like a lot going on. On my stomach again, the plastic surgeon comes to see me and look at it. I had multiple different teams of doctors of different specialties coming, seeing me, and treating me. I had the plastic surgery team, the intravenous team because of my seroma. I had the infectious disease doctor in case it was sepsis. So there were multiple people overseeing my case. Oh, and then just the primary care doctor. Mind you, it's like 2 a.m. at this point because we were at the other ER all day. They came here 2 a.m. After they come to see me waiting, I remember my mom was rubbing my head, and all of a sudden I just had a panic attack. Like I haven't had one. I have anxiety, but this was a crazy panic anxiety attack. I haven't had one of these since like middle school. I was just uncontrollably crying. I felt like the room was just coming down on me. I started hyperventilating. I had to get up. I start pacing around. I'm in the bathroom crying and screaming like I can't stop. Like something came into my body, like I couldn't control it. And I remember walking out of the ER. I'm like, I just need air. So I go out of the ER. I remember one of the workers was like, do you want to take the IV at your arm? I'm like, no, I just need air. So I'm outside pacing around. It's raining too. It's cold. It's rainy. I'm just crying like, I just want to go home. Like it was really scary, and it lasted for probably like 20 minutes. My mom was like, I have not seen you like that since middle school. Anyways, I'm laying in the bed trying to calm down. The nurse brings me Valium or Ativan to try to calm me down. That's for anxiety. So I took that, and I was like, do you have a fan? Like I was just really hot. So she brought me a clippable fan too. That helped a little. Probably after an hour, I ended up falling asleep. And tell me why I woke up to a code blue. Not from me, from somebody else, thank God. Well, not thank God. Thank goodness it wasn't me. But I woke up to a code blue that was going on next door. That's like when somebody stops breathing, they're about to unalive. They all come running, performing CPR, doing this, like, okay, flip over. Like that could happen, like if you're if you've been shot, I'm trying not to get banned. I'm trying to say the things that won't get me violated on TikTok. But if you're bleeding profusely, like if you're about to, that's a code blue basically. So that wakes me up. The nurse comes in. She's like, good news, your room is ready. They take me to the room. It's a really nice room. I was admitted into the IMLC, which is like intermediate care unit, which is a step under the ICU. So basically it was my own room. It was nice. It had a bathroom in it, a chair, clean, nice. It was one of a lot nicer rooms. I get in there, there's probably like 5 people in there welcoming me to my, well, not welcoming, but admitted me to my room. The nurse was just asking me questions like, do you know what year it is? Who's the president? How old are you? Just questions to make sure I was with it still. And tell me, when they put this on me, I was like, really? They put a fall risk on me. I was like, oh yeah, they're really taking this. Yeah. I was hooked up with heart monitors. I was mandatory. I had to have 2 IVs. I had to have, what else did I have to? Oh, I had to have an oxygen meter on me because that's how serious like this floor was. So they needed to see all my vitals at all times. If it was off, it would start beeping the machine. Oh my God, I can't believe I almost, okay. So also in the, so when I get up there, I notice my face is like puffy. Like I'm going to put a picture. I'm going to try to put a picture here. My face is like puffy. Like I couldn't even recognize myself. It looked like I had a mask on because I had an allergic reaction to one of the antibiotics. Out of all this, and I have an allergic reaction. Not also that, my whole body's red, like if I were to get sunburned. I had a reaction to the antibiotic vancomycin, and a lot of people can be allergic to this because it is penicillin based, but it's this thing called red man syndrome where you turn all red, your heart rate goes up, you could break out in a rash. Like, it was red with a rash. So they said it was because they were running the IV too fast, but it just wasn't getting better, so we switched to different antibiotics. But I'm in here, red rash, face puffy on my stomach. Like, it's just a lot going on. And yeah, I'm still on my stomach here. And mind you, I'm from a town where a lot of people don't know what BBLs are. The nurse, like, a lot of them are like, yeah, this is my first time seeing this. Like, they know what lipo is and they know what fat grafting is, so it wasn't like a hard concept to grasp, but they hadn't really seen a post-op infection like from this procedure. Anyway, so they're just running IV antibiotics on me this whole time, lots of antibiotics. Then then they take me down to aspirate my seroma so they could send the biopsy of the liquid to the lab for it to grow and see if there was infection in it. Long story short, there wasn't. That was good. I guess it was just irritated and I had cellulitis on that seroma. So I guess that was good news. After a couple of days, I started to feel better because of antibiotics and the prescriptions that they were giving me. And then I'm just going to sum this up. I'm going to make a longer video on TikTok. But basically, we came to the conclusion that I didn't have a bacterial infection. Thank God. I just had high inflammation in my body, which made me break out in a fever and contributed to the cellulitis. So they think that the high inflammation was just due to my body responding to it, because they did take out 4 liters of fat. And although like in different countries, they could take out more, but that's still a lot of trauma on your body for them. If you don't know what lipo is, go watch a video of it. They're taking this, they're basically sucking it out like a vacuum, all the fat out. And then they put most of it into your bum, or some of it. But that wasn't the part that hurt. And also, I keep in mind, I said my blood level, my hemoglobin was 15. When I got to the hospital and we checked my blood, and that time I was feeling like semi-normal. Miami, I was feeling like a dog, like bad. But my hemoglobin was a 9. So that went down 6 points. So I can't even imagine what it was right after the procedure happened. It must have been like a 7, 8, I don't know, maybe a 6, who knows. I just know I lost a lot of blood. And that doesn't happen for everybody. I guess I'm a bleeder, because when I got my lips done, I was also bleeding. So maybe that's just me. Now I don't have a bleeding disorder, knock on wood. All my labs came back normal. You have to have, like, my labs were perfect going in. I didn't have to take iron. I didn't have to redo my labs. They were all perfect going in. The clotting factors, all of that. But yeah, that's what happened. I had extremely high inflammation, which caused me to have that. They sent me home. I was there for 5 days. They sent me home on the 5th day. That last night, they put me in a regular room on the med-surg level, not like the IMLC. Boy, my roommate was snoring, like sleep apnea snoring, like a train. That kept me up. But I'm gonna go into that later on in the video. Got down there crying again, and I was like, I just want to go home. Then the nurse gave me a hug, and she was like, it's okay. You know, I told my husband he needs lipo because he's getting big, and I want to get my boobs done, but I just didn't have the cash at that time. But I'm gonna get them done. So, like, all the staff that I encountered, they were nice and caring. One of the nurses that did my IV, I also, because, I don't know if it was because allergic reaction or something, but they just could not get my veins. We had multiple people trying to come and give me an IV. They eventually had to get somebody with the ultrasound to come see my veins to poke an IV in me. So, just another thing. But I just wanted to give you a little glimpse into my experience. Yes, it was unfortunate, but I am pretty happy with my results. Although I'm not finished healing, that's why I'm not going to show you yet. But I'm happy with my results. I wish it just didn't happen that way. But my doctor was amazing. He was very realistic with me. I don't know if it was just maybe he was too aggressive or something. I didn't know, because obviously I'm asleep, or it just was my body's natural response to trauma. It's just high inflammation. But that ultimately is what caused me to go to the hospital. Would I do it again? No. I don't think I would do that again. It was just too much. It's a lot of downtime. This is like week 3. I can't do much. I can't sit still. But if you want to get plastic surgery, I 100% think that you should do what you want to do. Don't let people tell you you shouldn't because of, I don't know. Don't let people's experiences deter you from this. Like I said, I just made this for informational purposes. And I also said I didn't regret it because it was what I was doing what I wanted to do. But that's all. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. Leave them below. I want to share my experiences and just give you tips to have the best possible recovery if you do decide to do this.
No, guys, don't get me wrong. If you have been an islander, you've been a part of this community for a while, then you know I do tend to cover a lot of beauty content. And I've always said I have no issues with anyone choosing to do surgeries or any form of body modifications. If it helps you to feel confident or it aligns with the way how you see yourself, then sis or bro, it's all yours. So this space isn't about judging anyone's choices, but it's about having a real conversation. But of course, guys, you know me. And I believe in sharing both sides of the story. And I think it is important, especially when it comes to something so serious and so permanent, such as a surgery, to also highlight the risk and, of course, the possible complications and the outcomes that don't get talked about enough. So up next, we're going to see a few more clips where women talk about their decision whether to reduce or to just completely remove their BBLs altogether. And you'll notice that the reasons vary from health concerns to personal growth or just lifestyle changes. Each story brings a new perspective. So, of course, let's get into those.
Dolls, let me tell you all something about BBL, okay? Because I've seen a lot of persons like talking about, hey, the body have a spread so, the body have a big so, the body have a look so. Let me tell you, you see the big old bottle looks back in like 2014, 15, 16, 17, everybody wanted the bottle look, the vixen look, okay? A lot of person going back for reduction. All those DR dolls that was getting those big old butt, they're doing reduction. My last business trip to Colombia, a lot of dolls were on that flight. Because, as a black person, you see another black person that speak English, you're going to conversate. And let me say this. I was like, you look good, why are you going for reduction? They were like, when they sit or when they wear the pants, the butt flip over, come over in their back. It's not cute. The older the BBL, the bigger your ass get. BBL never stop growing. And as you get older, you gain weight. The ass get bigger. So be careful getting these big ass butt, okay? Especially if you have small ankle and skinny legs, it's not going to look good. What y'all need to do is focusing on compressing your waist, because once your waist is small, you look neat and you look cute with the small legs and a cute little butt. Don't listen to the noise of the market with this big ass. It never work. It's very uncomfortable. I don't know how to explain to it, but guys, what y'all got to do if y'all fresh to get your BBL and you're not too happy, give it time. You really start healing like after 6 months, and after a year, that's when you really see the shape, okay? So just compress your waist and wear your faja. Stop being so damn stingy and wear those little skinny straps faja. That's the reason why you have that little bulge, that fat under your armpit. Wear the faja with sleeves, okay? Fierce Body Colombian Faja.com, okay, for the good quality faja. You have faja that looks like faja, but it's a different material. You're not getting the compression that you need. So stop wearing those little cheap ass China faja. Come to Fierce Body Colombian Faja and get your good Colombian faja, okay?
Okay, I'm just gonna come on here right quick and keep it 1000% real. I got my BBL about 10 years ago. As of like the last couple of years, it has gotten huge. It has gotten big. It has just taken on its own life. I am right now I'm in the process of speaking to doctors about getting it removed. Please don't say nothing about my hair. Like, I'm in the bed, I just rolled over and I'm just like, you know what, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of her. Okay, but yeah, all seriousness, I am going to get it reduced. So, if you guys know any good doctors to like remove BBLs, let me know. I'm just tired of looking at it. Like, even on my timeline, if I see a girl with a big BBL, I'm scrolling, because sis, I gotta look at my own ass. I don't want to look at no more BBLs. I'm sick of it.
Comments like this kind of make me laugh, only because you have no idea what I've been going through. And not even in a rude way. Like, how are you guys supposed to know? I was very open about my whole like surgery process, and then I just kind of stopped talking about it for multiple reasons. But basically, my doctor told me to come in to get my BBL at the weight that I knew I was going to maintain and stay at for years to come. Don't gain weight or you're going to lose the BBL. Don't lose weight or you're going to lose your BBL. So I said, okay, well, I've been like 135, 137 for years. I work out, I eat right, and all of those things. So what had happened was, So after I got my surgery, I had my dream body for a really, really long time. I loved it. And then something happened. And I know it was not related to the BBL whatsoever, but I became allergic to literally everything. And I can insert some pictures and y'all know I'm always being real with you, even if it means putting myself on blast. So I'm gonna insert a video so you guys can see what was happening to my face. It was crazy.
I think this is the worst it's ever been.
I really don't know what happened. It's like I hit a certain age and every time I ate, my face would just blow up like this. So I took an allergy test and turns out I'm allergic to all of my favorite foods, potatoes, chicken, dairy, and so much more. So I had to cut so much out of my diet. And when that happened, I dropped like 20 pounds. And now 120 and below is my normal weight. So bye-bye, BBL.
I am a 44-year-old female. I had a BBL done maybe 12 years ago. As I got older, my butt started to get bigger. It looked rather unprofessional, so I came to Georgia Plastic for reconstructive surgery, a reduction. I was a little anxious, but I am very happy with my results. It was as if I did not have surgery. The first day, it was painless. I went back to my hotel. There was a little leakage that was a little concerning, but there was no pain associated with it. It was natural, and I am so happy with my results. I am up and moving around right after my surgery. So if you are considering getting a BBL reduction, come to Georgia Plastic. It's the best place.
As promised, these are the cosmetic procedures I've had done. If you're going to do it, then let's talk about it. Let's start with the liquid BBL. If you've thought about doing a liquid BBL because it's marketed as pain-free and no downtime, let me just tell you that is a lie from the pits of hell. It is pain-free while they're doing it because you're numbed with lidocaine, but once that lidocaine injection wears off, it is excruciatingly painful. I was in so much pain that I was actually scared, and I've given birth twice. It was way worse than my breast augmentation. If by no downtime they mean you need a couple of days off work because you can't sit or lay down or even touch the area for a couple of days, then sure. And I didn't even have an adverse reaction, no infection, nothing like that. It went swimmingly. It's just really, really painful with nothing to show for it because once I healed and the swelling went down, I had absolutely zero results after 3 sessions and 1,500 mil. It just wore off within a couple of weeks. So yeah, wouldn't recommend. Still flat. Have had 425cc breast augmentation, high profile round implants. I've had PDO thread lifts, really loved that. That was a couple of years ago though, so they've worn off now. I've had my teeth done, but we'll talk about that when the bottoms are finished next week. I've had my lips done, 0.5 mil in each. I am having Botox in the coming weeks, and I've also had chin filler, which I hated, so I dissolved it straight away.
Oh my gosh, guys, I know this was a heavy one, but it is so important for us to have this conversation. You know, we've seen real stories, seen real consequences, and the side of BBL culture that rarely makes it to the front page. From injections to unexpected odors, now Kay has confirmed it, to that emotional toll and even life-threatening complications. It's a reminder that those procedures, while popular, can come with real risk. As I always say, it's not to shame anyone, you know, who chooses to get surgery or body modifications. Your body, your choice. But it's also to encourage us, you know, to be informed of the decisions that we make. Do your research, ask questions, and just not think about the results, but also about the recovery, you know, the risk, and of course, that long-term impact. So case stories, as well as the others that we saw in today's videos, show us that the aftermath isn't always glamorous, and even men are noticing it and they're speaking out against us queens. You know, there's another level to this conversation that we just cannot ignore. So whether you're someone who is considering a BBL, or someone who is just recovering, or someone who is trying to understand the culture better, I hope this video, you know, gave you something to think about. I hope you found this video helpful and even eye-opening. So guys, of course, leave your comments and your thoughts down in the comment section. respectfully, of course, and let's keep this conversation going. As per usual, guys, thank you so much for sticking with me until the end of another conversation. If you want to continue to watch more relatable edutainment videos like these, you can go ahead and click that up next video, whether right here so on your screen, and enjoy the day away. As per usual, guys, thank you again so much for watching until the end. My name is Jody, and I aspire to inspire. Until next time, guys, what good.